Let's have a conversation about a portfolio, or maybe called a blanket loan. These are some things that a lot of new investors hear about, but they don't know where to get them. So we're going to have a conversation with Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage. Stephen, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. And yourself?
I'm doing great. Do me a favor, hit the marketing thing real quick, and we'll get into the conversation.
You got it. Although I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. So let's get it going.
There you go. Well, do me a favor, Stephen, define what a portfolio or a blanket loan is.
Basically, that's where you'd have the ability to blanket or lend on multiple properties under one loan. So in my particular case, any combination of two or more, 1 to 4 unit residential properties. So any grouping of, condos, townhouses, single families, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes, anything like that, where you can do multiple properties under one loan. So most lenders don't allow that. It does, help a lot of the, I would say, Midwest or certain regions that typically have, historically lower price points. And so it makes it very difficult to get regular conventional financing or long-term financing for that matter, just due to the price points. Most lenders don't want to touch anything that small. Usually they have to, be forced to use either local banks, and typically short-term financing, again, 5-year, maybe something like that, maybe even private money. But we offer 30-year fixed, 30-year amortized. And the beauty of my product is where at least each property that's included in the blanket loan just needs to be at least 50,000 or more in value. So it allows for, the ability to be able to take down a lot of smaller properties under one loan. So again, for, you come across a particular purchase where the landlord just done being, landlord, he's old, he's going to want to retire, but each property is only like $50,000-$60,000, but he's got, a portfolio of 10, and he send all 10 at 600,000, and we can help out with that. So, and it's at a no ratio loan. So I don't really need anything other than a minimum 650 FICO, and a heartbeat and a smile, and the heartbeat's optional.
Well, do me a favor. A lot of people heard you say no ratio loan. You and I know what that's all about, but let's just define it for a new investor. What's a no ratio loan mean?
That basically means that I'm not looking at any type of ratio to qualify you, right? No metric at all. So no DTI ratio, which is your debt to income ratio, where I'm comparing your income against your debt. No DSCR ratio, where I'm comparing your monthly mortgage payment against your monthly rent. So none, and no asset depletion as far as, calculating your monthly deposits and then adding up the last total for the last 24 months and averaging that out. So none of that is required, and I don't even care about the rents coming from the property to qualify you. So there's no ratio at all that I'm looking at, and so it makes it for obviously easier qualifying, very similar to say hard money, but my terms are better as far as pricing, and my fees are usually much less. So that's the kind of long and short of it. But yeah, ease of use with the product, but not as harsh, I guess, for lack of a better word, as your traditional hard money.
No, again, I think there's so much to understand a portfolio or a blanket loan. Again, when I talk to new investors, I'm out at events. A lot of people go, talk about, I want to buy multiple assets, but I can't find anybody that does it. Right? For a long time, the blanket loan was like, Bigfoot. Right? Often talked about.
I was going to say unicorn, but okay.
Yeah, never really seen. Right? It's all theory.
Right.
You got a couple of grainy snapshots, but yeah.
Yeah. Turned out to be a guy in a monkey suit. No, but it was basically not many lenders can kind of accommodate that. There's obviously private lenders, hard money lenders that are maybe cross collateralized, and that's kind of like a whole different type of way to But as far as the normal institutional lenders, there's not a lot that will do blanket loans, and so from what my knowledge, we're I think one of the lowest as far as acceptance of per property per value, or value per property. So, yeah.
And again, this is an important thing because again, a lot of you are playing out of state, out of market, and we may find opportunities to buy 4, 5, 6 assets, but again, if the asset value is 70 grand, not many lenders want to play there because again, what happened after Dodd-Frank and all this is the small lending kind of disappeared. For a long time, the minimum was 50. It's now more like 150. right? What I've seen over the last, call it 30 days, and certainly the last 2 weeks, is lenders are getting really tight again. No exceptions.
Real tight. Yeah. Picky.
Real tight. Picky. So again, I think a lot of people need to realize that Velocity Mortgage plays a role, right? You do what you do and you do it well, and you don't try to be everything to everyone.
Right.
But yeah, you've helped ORAT family members buy multiple assets in a single loan before. So it's nice to know that it's there.
Times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, again, I mean, if we're one of a few players in that space, yeah. I mean, when you have the need for my product, I mean, just email me. You know what I mean? We've been proving it multiple times. So, but I think it's a very useful tool, just in obviously certain situations. Some people would prefer to just make one mortgage payment instead of 10 or 12 or whatever. So it does save them some time and hassle. But there, we should also sometimes have the conversation of maybe that might not be the best move. You know what I mean? With a blanket loan, if somehow they could stand on their own individually, as far as per property meeting the minimum loan requirement. I would normally suggest, most of the clients I talk to do them separately. I would just give them a break on the underwriting fee so that they would have the ability later on to sell one or refinance one separately from the group without having to be handcuffed to each other. So, yeah, I mean, when the prices are small enough, blanket loans are probably the way to go because there's nothing else you could do. They have to kind of be blanket. Otherwise, you're paying all cash or private money. Right. But when they can, we should definitely still have that conversation. We just got to crunch the numbers to see if the cost versus the ability to be flexible later on. See which one is more important to you. But 100% the blanket loan has been very, very helpful with a lot of people.
Yeah, well, let's push on that a little bit more. Let's give them some vocabulary. The reason why you might want to do assets singly is because if you go blanket or portfolio loan with Velocity Mortgage, there is this thing called no partial release.
Correct.
Tell people what that means.
So basically, after the loan closes, where if you're blanketing or put into a portfolio of multiple properties under one loan, if down the road, a year or 2, 3 years from now, somebody made you an offer on one of those, say 5 in the blanket that you couldn't pass, you know what I mean? And it's just ridiculous profit and everything's great. But then now the other 4, you can have to refinance at the same time. And who knows what rates are going to be like at that time. And obviously more closing costs and maybe other fees. And so sometimes that just eats up all your profit. And so it's now upside down when you thought you were going to make this huge, windfall. So that's usually sometimes the downside that people don't really have that conversation. I've had it multiple times with some of the clients and they've said multiple times, yeah, no, I'm never going to do it. I'm never going to. Never's a long time.
Yeah, never is a long time.
And I'm telling you, when some things just pop up, and I hate to say it, there was one ORAT, client, and that happened. He came back to me after the fact, and we could have at least maybe bought down the prepay a little bit, to maybe 1 year. But he was like, I'm never. And sure enough, somebody made an offer on one, but we were calculating numbers on the other. It was total of 6, the other 5, and it was just the cost was just ate up all that profit. And he was like, no, I'm not gonna. I can't take the offer. Yeah. So
again, folks, portfolio loans, blanket loans are amazing. They allow you to do some things, but there's definitely some downside. Crunch numbers. Make sure you have a plan. Because again, that no partial release going, hey, can I sell number 7, and then we can adjust the loan? No. Once you break it, you got to start over.
Well, because some people they don't have that understanding to look down the road a little bit further. They're like, you know what I mean? A lot of times that's just the feeling for now, but then they tend to forget, like, hey, well, what if somebody just totally needs, to buy that place or whatever, and they're going to make you a stupid offer and you can't take advantage of it. So it gives you a little bit more flexibility, but again, just having a more meaningful conversation with Uncle Steve here, and we'll figure it out.
There you go. Again, folks, you want to talk blanket loans, portfolio loans, 50, 40, 10s, flip loans, Velocity Mortgage does what it does. It's great to have them in the portfolio. You email email sdow at velocitymortgage.com. You put ORAT, those 5 letters in the subject line, and those 5 letters only, so you can get through the firewall. And what else you want them to put in the email?
Typically in the body of the email, kind of breakdown of maybe what you're looking for or what you're trying to do. Property address would be really, really helpful, at least city and state, to make sure I lend there. Your mid-FICO score, of course, and then best phone number to reach at in typically 24, 40 hours. I'll be in touch either by phone or by email.
Awesome, buddy. I appreciate you. Thanks again.
Thanks, Mike. Have a great weekend.
You too.